One of the top solar problems that people have is that these wires here come with a 48 volt system. They support 125 amps. That can support 6,000 watts and the 6000 XP with 6,000 watts. Now, it's suggested that you have two batteries, but that still is a huge difference from what would be required with a 12 volt system. On a 12 volt system, you would need 4-aught battery. Now this is a 1-aught. A 4-aught battery would be even larger than this. I don't even have anything that large. So you would need a 4-aught battery to support 6,000 watts on a 12 volt battery. It's not even practical to do it. The best you're going to do is going to get 3,000 watts, and 3,000 watts would still be in excess of 228 amps. It's just not practical to support that many watts on a 12 volt system. The second problem that a lot of people have is that they don't understand that there's two types of power going into a solar system. First, there's DC power. This allows you to store it, or it allows you to use solar panels to collect the power. So you can collect the power coming in from the solar panels, and you can store it in the batteries with the battery system. But that's all DC power. This is all DC power, and you're going to need to handle that type of power there. But what's misunderstood is that then you have AC power that comes out. The AC power allows you to run wall plugs and outlets from a standard 110 or 220 wall outlet. This complication of converting requires an inverter. And most people missize the inverter, either picking the wrong battery size because of the first problem, being that the wire size is too small or too large, or being that the output of the inverter is too small, not able to support the large enough device. The third and most important, most common problem comes down to connections. These connections that you see here are made with big quality tinned copper lugs or real copper lugs. Never use clamped lugs, which are used for low power DC device like in an automobile or something along those lines. This is made for 12 volt low power usage, not high amperage. Nothing ever over 10 or 12 amps should be used with these. You want to make sure that when you're building your solar system that you use these high power lugs where they can support the hundreds of amps that is necessary to power your system. Third largest problem that I've seen is that people want to start too big. You don't need a 6,000 XP to power your house. You might need something as small as an EG4 3,000 watt powered inverter. This can power quite a bit. Starting small may mean you start with a small 12 volt system with a small inverter for 300, 600, or 1,000 watts. You don't need to power your whole house in order to start this process. So this is one of those things that I see as the biggest problem is people try to start with a system like this where they can power their whole house with a sub panel and they can back up everything. And they don't understand what it takes for the right size batteries, the right size inverter, and the right size conversion between battery power and AC power. And then the last problem that you see is that people underestimate the batteries that they need, whether they underestimate the size or the voltage, or they underestimate the size or the voltage of the inverter they need. It's really important that you understand the difference between what the wire sizes will need to be to make your inverter work properly and what size wires you want to run from your batteries to your inverter so that you can safely operate it at the amperage that it needs to be. Keeping in mind, this supports 125 amps. On a 12-volt system and 125 amps, the nominal voltage of 13.2 times 125 is only 1,650 watts. But use that same cable and that same 125 amps on a 48-volt system and you get 6,600 watts. This wire can support up to 285 amps safely. Now, 285 amps with a 48-volt system, you would have a constant usage availability to support up to 12,129 watts. But on a 12-volt system, the most you could support with something like this is a 3,000-watt inverter. So undersizing your batteries, either in capacity size or output size, and undersizing your inverter in capacity size or in the battery feed-in is one of the biggest problems that you run into. So when it's all said and done, what you want to do is you want to think about all the top 5 problems. 1, whether you need a 12-volt system that supports the larger wires because it's small and it's easy and convenient to set up and a lot safer, or 2, whether you want a high voltage battery like a 48-volt battery that uses smaller wires. The second thing that you need to learn to deal with is the 2 types of power. Make sure you understand the battery power and that you understand the AC power for running your wall outlets and wall plugs. The third is to handle your connections properly. Make sure that you use good quality, pure copper lugs that can be tinned like these here, but never aluminum copper clad wiring, always pure copper wire, and always pure copper lugs. 3, make sure that you haven't undersized your batteries for what you need, that you take into account the idle draw, the excessive power, the extra power that's needed to run the equipment that's going to be feeding you the power, and that you understand the difference between the inversion between DC power to AC power. And then finally, and the most important aspect is, start small. Don't try to jump straight to a huge 48-volt system that powers your whole house. Start with a 12-volt system that you can easily and safely build use a small inverter to run a TV or something like that and understand how the charging works and how everything operates.